It's a shame that whatever issues he's dealing with at this moment in time have caused him to say the things that he said.
Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't hold back, openly expressing his shame in being associated with his father, Chris Eubank Sr. He challenges his father's recent actions, admitting he feels embarrassed by his behavior. Despite the ongoing family drama, Eubank Jr. remains focused on his upcoming fight with Conor Benn, making it clear that no distractions will deter him. He firmly warns his father to step aside, stating his determination to go through with the bout regardless of any outside interference.
But again, I've got to stay focused. What my dad is saying about me is not going to change what happens on Saturday.
Chris Eubank Jr. remains resolute, brushing off any distractions caused by his father's comments as he stays laser-focused on his upcoming showdown with Conor Benn. Confident that nothing will derail his plans, Eubank Jr. boldly declares that the fight will go ahead and asserts that he will emerge victorious, determined to prove once again that his skills will reign supreme inside the ring.
This is what he said on Top Sport, Simon, that you should be investigated because you gave Conor the thing.
Did he say that?
He said that.
Really?
Today.
Can you send that to me? He sent that today. Because what I'll do is, I'll sue him. I'll sue him.
Eddie Hearn doesn't hold back in tearing into Chris Eubank Sr., brutally dismissing his recent comments as nothing more than baseless noise. He makes it clear that Eubank Sr.'s words are irrelevant, exposing just how out of touch he is with the current reality. According to Eddie, the remarks are nothing but a desperate attempt to cling to the spotlight. He slams Chris Sr. for living in the past, holding on to nostalgia, while his son Chris Eubank Jr. is firmly focused on the future. In Eddie's view, there's no room for outdated rhetoric in this fight, and he's not afraid to put Chris Sr. in his place. Drop your predictions in the comments and don't forget to like the video.
Eubank Sr. is mentally not stable. How people in the media even allow him in that space is a disgrace. The guy, firstly, the guy is not well. Secondly, the guy really should be here.
Hearn goes all in on Chris Eubank Sr., calling him mentally unstable and questioning how he's even allowed a platform in the media. Holding nothing back, Eddie labels Sir E's presence a disgrace to the sport, boldly claiming that not only is Eubank Sr. unwell, but he has no business being involved in the current fight narrative. Hearn makes it clear there's no place for someone like Eubank Sr. in the spotlight, accusing his antics of damaging the integrity of boxing and expressing disbelief that he's still permitted to operate in the public eye.
And he's achieved whatever he's had to achieve, then credit will be given. I know Senior, when he was doing whatever he did as a fighter, he got chastised. People called him everything from a pig to a dog, but he did it his own way. Still ended up being world champions. Still ended up being like one of the UK's biggest names.
Johnny Nelson tears into the hypocrisy surrounding Chris Eubank Sr., pointing out the stark contrast between the legendary fighter who once built his career by defying the odds and the man now seemingly standing in the way of his son's own legacy. Eubank Sr., who made his mark in boxing by doing things his own way, is now acting like a controlling figure, stifling Junior's path to greatness. Nelson highlights the contradiction. If Senior reached the top by making his own choices, why deny his son the same freedom? This, Nelson argues, isn't about fatherly guidance. It's a clash of egos and a refusal to pass the torch.
He be in the public, and that's something that you say behind closed doors. I'm not sure it's something to discuss in the media.
Is he likely? It doesn't sound like it. Is he likely to change his mind? Does Chris Eubank Jr., your fighter, want him in his corner?
He wants to win the fight. That's all he's focused on. He's now in a point of time where he has to block all.
On the other hand, Ben Shalom launches a scathing attack on Chris Eubank Sr., branding his actions a disgrace. He doesn't hold back, accusing Sr. of publicly humiliating his own son at a time when support is needed most. Shalom argues that Eubank Sr. has completely lost touch with reality, choosing to drag Jr. through the mud instead of standing by him. In a moment where unity could be the key to success, Sr. has become a toxic distraction. To make matters worse, Shalom hints that this betrayal may be the final straw, suggesting that Eubank Jr. could soon cut ties with his father for good.
Life. Junior, you're smashing an egg against this guy's face. I taught you that. I didn't teach you that. Who taught you that? Did Karen teach you that? Who taught you that? That's just graceful. I'm gonna stand in your corner, you must have.
Chris Eubank Sr. erupts with raw frustration, lashing out at his son over what he calls a disrespectful build-up to the Conor Benn fight. Disgusted by the theatrics, especially the egg-smashing stunt, Sr. sees it as a betrayal of the values he once instilled in Jr. He openly questions who's influencing his son now, suggesting that Eubank Jr. has strayed far from his original principles. With biting sarcasm, Sr. mocks the idea of supporting him ringside, making it painfully clear he wants no part in what he views as a circus. But beneath the outrage lies something deeper. This emotional outburst reveals a fractured father-son relationship slowly unraveling in front of the world.
I don't think it'll be that much of an issue. But again, listen, I'm not disrespecting Chris Eubank Sr. Legend of the game, and he's going to worry about his son, you know what I mean? And rightly so, but I don't think he's in that. But put it this way, I think if he was in that much of a disadvantage, everyone would be picking Eubank, wouldn't he? And I've seen people quite split on it. A lot of people are picking.
Smith doesn't mince words when addressing Chris Eubank Sr.'s recent antics, dismissing them as nothing more than a sideshow distraction. He openly mocks Sir E's public outbursts, insisting that the surrounding drama is just noise. For Smith, the spotlight should be firmly on the fight itself, and on Eubank Jr.'s performance, not his father's theatrics. He highlights Eubank Jr.'s unwavering determination and laser-sharp focus on victory, praising the intensity of his camp under the expert guidance of Jonathan Banks. In Smith's eyes, the real story isn't the controversy, it's whether Eubank Jr. will dismantle Conor Benn with ruthless precision and prove once again that he's a true force in the ring.
But apart from that, his son, should probably not be dropping at this stage to go down to 160. It was meant to be 157 for the original. It's probably why the weight is such a big thing for him on that. But he's also making a bigger point of Conor Benn shouldn't be coming up 2 weights to fight my son. Like he's making a clear point that no one should really be letting this happen, and without offending and upsetting everyone, and I'm working the show, and
Edwards didn't hold back when addressing Chris Eubank Sr.'s recent comments, particularly those concerning his son's weight cut. He bluntly stated that it was a mistake for Eubank Jr. to drop to 160 low Bs at this stage of his career, pointing out that the original agreement had been for a 157 lb catchweight. But Edwards didn't stop there. He turned his attention to Conor Benn, who is jumping up 2 weight classes to take on Eubank Jr., calling the move absurd and risky for both fighters. He questioned whether such drastic shifts in weight were wise, raising concerns about the fairness and safety of the matchup. While trying to tread carefully, Edwards admitted that Eubank Sr.'s concerns might not be entirely baseless. Despite his criticisms, Edwards remains excited for the fight, though he sees major flaws in the strategies of both camps.
Cannot do that. Just the walk, let alone the fight part. It takes a lot of mental strength. It takes a lot of guts, a lot of heart, mental strength. It's a huge thing in boxing.
It's a big thing in life, even outside of boxing, right? In business and in all, I think, great endeavors. Do you think it's something that you can, from what you've seen in the gym, something you can teach or train?
Frank Warren didn't hold back when speaking about Chris Eubank Jr., bluntly calling him a prick and delivering a scathing critique of his character. Warren made it clear that he can't stand the way Eubank carries himself, especially in public, turning what could have been a standard boxing opinion into a full-blown clash of egos. His explosive comments only added fuel to the already fiery build-up surrounding the fight. Eubank's cocky, brash persona has long made him a polarizing figure, but Warren's public takedown pushed the tension to a whole new level. Meanwhile, the venom flying between both camps has transformed what began as a professional rivalry into something far more personal. The stakes are no longer just about boxing. They're about pride, legacy, and who walks away with the ultimate bragging rights. This is more than a match. It's a war of reputations. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Frank Warren cross the line, or is this just part of the fight game? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered takes on the Eubank Benn saga.